Stu here with Raid Shadow Legends. We're going to be talking about how to make a farmer in this game. We're going to be talking about your starting farmer, gear for your farmer. We're going to talk about the masteries, of course, because there are a lot of good masteries out there that help you out. We're going to talk about in-game farming at 12-3 brutal, speed farming at 200 speed. You got to go 200 speed if you're going to go twice to the enemies one time on 12-3 brutal. And then if you don't want to go speed farming, if you want to go slower, like 150, 145, but really have high damage with high critical damage, we're going to show that as well, what we need to do for that, the gearing choices. And then also we're going to talk about a few farmers that I like, and we're going to talk about Kael as your farmer versus Kael as your dragon slayer or clan boss killer, because that's where he really excels at getting those poisons up to help you progress in dragons and to work for you in the clan boss. I think that's much better. Then also stay tuned for a follow-up guide on Nightmare Campaign farming. We'll go over that. We'll go over what champions are great for Nightmare Campaign farming. We do 12-6 in Nightmare Campaign. We'll talk about that. So let's jump into it. So any farmer that you start with is anybody that has a good AoE 3-turn cooldown. Any of the starting champions can be your farmer. Any of the 4 can be your farmer. There are a lot of other champions that can be your farmer in the game. Depends on what you get lucky with. Bellower, you know, is a great one. Shield Guard is a wonderful one. We're gonna bring in Skull Crown first. We're going to demonstrate what it's like to have a high DPS but slow speed farmer. Here's what we got. 5,274 attack. We have 249 critical damage. We're not going overkill. Actually, her crit isn't even up, so that's not good. We don't even have 100% crit, Stu. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to show you what you can do with... Now, I think this is a higher requirement. I think it's much harder to go slower, but to hit harder than if you were to go 200 speed. And I know 200 speed sounds like a lot. I know that. But you can kind of build your way up there. You could build a champion like this first. Now, obviously, you want to build a champion like this to clear every wave eventually. So we want to make her stronger. We do. But right now, she's pretty strong. We just have to change out her gear to make her stronger. Let's see what we've got here. We've got 80% critical damage, 40% critical damage. We've got a whole bunch of 6-star pieces at plus 16. We've got 50%. We could change these to 60%, 60%. We could get her out of this Avenging gear and put her in some Savage gear to hit harder, some critical damage gear. So yes, we could make it to where she'll clear every wave in one hit and be done. But look at this. Even though you're going slower, you're having to have some serious gear here. Serious gear requirement where I'm positive, and I know for sure, that if you can get to that faster speed, that it's easier for you to equip that hero and beat the waves. We'll show that now right now. We'll go into those. And the main thing is, too, when you're in this game, speed is everything. Whatever you have for your farmer right now, I really hope you have speed boots on them. Whatever you do, get speed boots on almost everybody in this game. If you're coming up, if you're in-game, you want speed boots on everybody. You want that speed up because not only do you want that 200 speed here as your farmer, you're going to want high speed anyways. If you're coming up to Dragon 16, 18, whatever, 20, you're going to need higher speeds. You want those higher speeds. If you're trying to move into Nightmare Clan Boss, if you're trying to move into... Let's go. We'll do our Shield Guard here, which I love to play with all the time. So he's going to go twice to the enemies once because he's over 200. Boom, another turn, and he has a 2-turn cooldown, so he's always going to have that AoE up. And sometimes it resets, so he's got it up even faster. So there we are with a 6-second run on Shield Guard. I'll show you my Shield Guard gear in a minute. Here's a Kael that I don't have built for high attack. I've got him kind of like a mix of being able to do Dragons 20 and put out some damage. Now, obviously, you might not be able to get there right now, but at least you can get him at a decent speed to where he'll be able to get through there and make him tanky so that he can do kind of both. Look at this. They're going to get hits on him, but he can take it. He's got HP gloves and HP chest, and he's got a lot of speed. So with all that speed and him taking multiple turns, he's going to get back around to doing his AoE much, much faster. He's got lifesteal gear on. That's what you do with Kael. He's got War Master Mastery, so whenever he does damage with that, he's going to heal back a lot more. 20-second run. Yes, it wasn't fast, and it might even be slower for you, but that's fine. Let's look at both their gear really quick, and we'll move on to a Bellower and see what we can do with a really slow Bellower, not a high damage Bellower to clear the waves. So we were at our Shield Guard. Let's look at Shield Guard first. Shield Guard's going to look like he's got a lot of things on him as well, and he does. He's got critical damage. He's got defense actually. Critical damage though is 65, not of 80. He's got defense on here. He's got speed boots here, and he was crushing the waves, doing 2 turns with their 1, and with his skill to always do a 2-turn AoE, it's really good. Plus, if he kills people, if he crits on them, he gets an additional turn meter. Everything works out nice for him. But I feel like his requirements to be your farmer for this are much easier than a Skull Crown. That's just me. Depends on what you got, right? Depends on what you're working with. Also, this Kael here. This is what I want to see with every Kael in the game. This is a dragon killing Kael. not a farmer Kael. And that's what you need. Kael is best for his poisons. We want to use Kael for his poisons on dragons for progression, and we want to use it in clan boss. Now, if you're past all that, if you're in game with your farmer, it really doesn't matter. With you and your farmer, if you're in game, you can have fun with anybody that's got like a 3-turn AoE cooldown, or anybody like Bellower who has AoE on every single one of their skills. But for Kael, for anybody out there trying to progress, please put your Kael in HP gloves, HP chest, and speed boots, and just get your speed up to like 170, something like that. Lifesteal gear along with War Master so that you can heal off that War Master proc whenever it hits, right? You want to heal off this whenever it hits. Your Kael will be fast. Your Kael will have accuracy. Make sure you have accuracy too. If you have to go accuracy set here, that's fine. 2-piece accuracy, 4-piece lifesteal, and then give me some other stuff in here to make up for some more accuracy. Try to get some accuracy on the neck. Whatever you can do, this is the kind of Kael that's going to help us beat the dragon. If we get him to the dragon's going to die because we have Kael here. If it's a Kael that we're outfitting with just attack percentage, and attack percentage, which I jump onto people's accounts all day, that's what I see, then that Kael's not going to do anything dungeon progression-wise for us. And that's what we need. That's all we need, really. All we need is Kael to make it to the dragon, and we can win the game. It's easy, because then once we get up to Dragons 20, we farm everything we need to do anything else in the game. It's beautiful. Believe me, it works. Worst comes to worst, if you're using Kael as your farmer, try to at least get him an HP chest. You can go crit gloves or attack gloves and speed boots. That's fine. We can make a compromise and try to do that. But do not go all attack. We want speed, and you're going to need that speed as you progress and get higher. All your champions are going to need speed. They're all going to need it. Who else do we have here? We had a Bellower I talked about. This guy, Fellhound, is kind of hard to outfit to be your 12-3 brutal farmer. He takes a high requirement. I don't think anybody should really play around with Fellhound until later on in the game. Bellower is great for everything. I have this Bellower set up as my tank stun Bellower. If you've seen that guide, you know that this Bellower, once I put his boots back on, can get you through any waves in the game and get you to the boss. Once you get to the boss, it's up to you to beat the boss and your clan, your group composition and whatever else you're doing. But this Bellower can lock up the waves so much with all his debuffs and all his stuns that it's a beautiful thing. I love playing this Bellower to progress in any kind of account I see out there. And I don't even have, like, I got a 4-star piece of defense. I've got HP percentage, and then I've got speed boots. But the speed boots at 45 would take him exactly to 200. 200 speed, where he's going twice to their 1. But you know what? Who needs to do 200 speed? We're going to take this Bellower in at, let's see his speed, 155, just to show you that I know you can do it as well. You could make a farmer. Whoa, Fire Knight tournament. I didn't even know what was going on. Thanks, game, for breaking right into my video. Oh, yeah, I do remember the Friday Night tournament. What am I talking about? Okay, so we're going to take Kael in here. And I know you can make a farmer, because all you need to do, we're not going to take Kael, we're going to take Bellower. All you need to do is make sure that they're at least tanky enough and fast enough. 155 isn't bad. I know you can reach 155. And this guy, right, especially if it's AoE, like this is Bellower though. It's a different story, right? But he's going to make it. Watch this. So many debuffs. He doesn't have a stun artifact set on. It's not complete. He's only got a 3-piece of the 4, so he's not going to stun anybody. But he's tanky enough to be able to take the hits. And this guy normally you would build to just either blow these waves away or be at 200 speed and do good damage and just like 1-2 dead or 1-time dead. But now we've got him in here as just a tanky Bellower that you use to get through all the waves in the game. Stun set on him if you can, and he's going to help you out a tremendous amount with progression. But he could also be your farmer if you wanted to. We're going to get slow farms. I get that. But at least you know you can make a farmer. You know you can get out there and make a farmer for 12-3. I know it seems hard at first, but it is easy to do. It's not that hard to do. You just got to farm gear. All about farming that gear, right? So that's our Bellower. So we've seen the different options we can do to make a farmer. We've heard me talk about Kael because I want to make sure Kael. Let's go over Masteries. Let's see what kind of Masteries. Now on these Masteries for Bellower, we didn't have anything to help out. We've got defensive and support. Shield Guard has all the good Masteries. Here we go. So Shield Guard has the proper Masteries for farming. You really don't have to have the support part, but I do love having an option to reset a skill right here. 1 cooldown, 5%, it's not much. And I really like this. If you're bringing in your allies, which you normally do, you bring in like 1 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars. They die pretty quick in your farm, unless you're just already in game and you're blowing away each wave. They'll gun after these weak champions. They'll kill them, but this will make your champion stronger. 24 additional speed if all your guys die. That's a lot. That's a lot of additional speed, and you're going to need it. It'll help you out. It'll help you out a tremendous amount. Then you always go for the critical damage. This one, usually you're going to be at high HP, so you're going to do more damage right away. This is the first hit you do on each enemy on each wave. Is going to give you additional 8%. This one is really good. So if you're like any of those champions you just saw me bring in there, they're going to kill that first wave. Right after they kill all that first wave, you're going to have an additional 18 speed. It's going to help you out. It's going to help you out a lot. Then right here we have the cycle of violence where you're going to be doing a lot of damage. You could reset some of your skill cooldowns. That's always nice. Here, every person you kill, that whole first wave, they're going to give you additional 12% damage for wave 2 and wave 3. Very helpful. And then here we have flawless execution for additional critical damage. This is what you want for your farmer, critical damage. Don't go over here and go Helm Smasher. This is a 50% chance to apply this decreased defense. Is it stronger than that 20% critical damage? It is, but it's only a 50% chance to do it. You want consistency. You want consistency in your farmer. Now, if your farmer is strong enough, like you just saw my Kael roll through here, my Kael did have War Master on him. So it all depends on where you're at in the game. If your farmer is strong enough and you're using your farmer for other things in the game, sure, you can go War Master. That's not a problem. You don't have to go flawless execution, and you really don't have to go anything in here in support if you don't want to. You could go over in defensive. Really up to you and what you're doing. I do like this for a farmer. If you're struggling, get that additional speed. It will help out. So I think that's it. I think that covered most of it. What I like most is farmers. I think he's a high requirement for it. Anything that has AoE all the time like Bellower, anything that has an AoE 3-turn cooldown like Kael, any of the starting champions have that. Aethel has an ability to make it to where she gets an extra turn, so that 3-turn AoE cooldown will come back even faster. Any champions like those will do really well for you. Don't try to bring in somebody like a Rosin or a Martyr. It's going to be a really long farmer. Can they do it because they're defensive based and you put lifesteal on them? They can. They can make it through. Somebody like Brackus is going to have a really hard time as well. He's going to hit each champion and have to come back and do it. It's going to take a long time. So don't try to bring Brackus in there. You know the deal. You know what's going on. So the next guide we do, we're going to go over Nightmare campaign farming and what we used to do 12-6. Everybody does 12-6. It's the easiest. Our Biggins, our Ignatius, even our Tyrell, who's an amazing champion. He's like an epic plus almost legendary. Tyrell can go in there and do it with the right amount of speed and the lifesteal gear. He can do it as well. There are a lot of other champions. Miscreated Monster can take care of it. It's going to take a little while, but he can do it very easily without any kind of special gear. We'll go over all that in the next video. Let me know if I touched base on everything that you need to know for your campaign farmer. I hope I helped you out. If you have any questions, put it down below and we'll all get to you on that. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you all on a video soon.